The following program was recorded at ARC Advisory Group's annual World Industry Forum in Orlando, Florida. I'm pleased to welcome Editor-in-Chief of Supply Chain Brain, Russell Goodman.
Hello. Joining us for a conversation today on asset management in the oil and gas industry is Terence Leung, Director, Industry Management at Savi Technology. Terence, welcome.
Thank you, Russell.
Terence, I know that Savi Technology is focused to a large extent on the oil and gas industry. So tell us, in your view, what are the major supply chain challenges that industry faces?
Yes, for the owner-operator, especially in the upstream side, they lack the visibility they need to function correctly or appropriately for example, for the rigs or the production platforms. The production platforms are very small, so they can't store a lot of inventory. So they use pretty much the whole supply chain as the laydown yards, so that they can be supplying the platforms with spare parts and other materials they need when it's called for. But because of emergencies or other activities, they lost track of where those assets are, even though they may be in a warehouse somewhere, but they lost visibility of it. So that's where most of the problem is.
Well, clearly a solution needs to be quite robust in order to deal with the complexity of the challenges you just outlined. So walk us through what a solution needs to do to be able to meet the requirements.
Yes. First of all, they need to provide real-time visibility, not just in localized situation like a warehouse or a rig, but for the overall supply chain, which includes the suppliers, the warehouse, the transportation in the middle, and then the ports and shipments all the way to the rig. Those solutions tend to have a software component to it so that it can be reviewing all the data and aggregate all the data, and then also tracking technologies that would be supplying the real-time locations and conditions of these assets.
Now, we just described the capabilities of that kind of solution. Let's apply that, though, to the real world. Give us some examples of how a solution like that might actually be used and what benefit it would bring to the users.
Yes, the oil majors usually rent a lot of equipments, from very small equipments to very big equipments, and they tend to sometimes lose track of where the equipments are, and that is out of rental period. So they need this kind of visibility solution, which tells them where they are, and then is it returned before the rental contract period, so that they can minimize rental expense. So that's one use case. The other is really tracking the overall visibility of all these equipments, so that when they need this equipment, they would get it within a short time, instead of having to go out of the region supply chain and acquire it from other places, which has, those equipments may have to be flown in by helicopters or by boat.
Mm-hmm. It occurs to me when I think about the oil and gas supply chain that end to end, going from upstream to downstream, this is a very, very long supply chain. Yes. We're involved with production, we're involved with equipment manufacturers, people who transport all of that, and then of course downstream are the folks who are refining, et cetera, the service providers. Who is the ideal customer for the kind of solution you're talking about, the ideal user of this sort of thing? Is it a service provider? Is it simply a producer? Who is it?
Yeah, there would be three types of customers that would be ideally using this solution. One would be the owner-operator, that it would include all the international independent oil and gas companies, and also the national-owned companies. The other would be the equipment and services provider that is serving these owner-operator every day in terms of equipment installation and maintenance. Thirdly would be the logistics provider, the 3PLs, that may need visibility because they do oil and gas business all over the world for the same owner-operator or for a series of owner-operator. So they need visibility not just at a region, but overall for the whole world, similar to the equipment provider and the owner-operator.
Terence, you just mentioned tracking and tracing. That reminds me to ask this question. What kind of wireless technologies are there that are used in combination with this solution?
Yes, because of the various costs of these assets, from very small equipment to very big equipment, there needs to be a wide range of wireless technologies to track those. For example, for the most expensive, we may use GPS, like the equipment trees and big equipment that's moving all over the places. There would be tracking containers using active RFID and sensors so that we can tell the conditions of them. They would be using passive RFID technologies, toward the warehouse when it's tracking smaller items. So, overall, I think we are providing a full solution that can be leveraging our own technology or others' technology, because no one implementation or deployment is unique. So we have to continue to search for the latest, greatest technology to serve them.
Let's put your salesman's hat on for just one moment. Final question. If somebody comes to you and says, outline for me what are the major benefits, major business benefits that I'm going to get from using this type of solution, what do you say?
I think it's three areas. One is to increase your uptime because of the avoidance of delay of materials or raw materials to arrive. We can increase the uptime. Second would be increasing asset integrity and therefore safety, because you have what you need when you need it, and we can keep track of the history of the maintenance of that asset. Third one would be reduce expenses, example rental expenses, expediting costs, and also expediting resources.
Well, Terence, it's been a fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for visiting with us today.
Thank you very much.
That was Terence Leung, Savi Technology. He was speaking with us today about asset management in the oil and gas supply chain. Thank you for watching.